Sunday, 4th January 2015. The nation woke up to a dark morning. The eldest son to Kenya's second Prime Minister, Fidel Makarios Odhiambo Odinga, is dead.
I think now we can confirm to you that Fidel Odinga is dead. And this press conference is called purposely to just give you a preliminary overview of what probably happened with regards to his last moments or last times alive.
The body of the then Code Coalition leader's son was found in his bed early Sunday morning, hours after he arrived at his current home from an outing with his close friends. Three days later, post-mortem examination results of the deceased remains was released out, with Dr. Dorothy Njeru leading a team of pathologists in the exercise. According to Dr. Njeru, after a thorough exercise, they were not able to come up with a conclusive cause of death, as she announced that her team had resorted to use the laboratory route to analyze Fidel's cause of death.
Based on this examination, the body examination and dissection, we've not been able to come up with a conclusive cause of death, and we have agreed as a team to proceed to the next phase of examination, which is the laboratory examination. And this analysis begins right away, and all the pathologists that have been involved in the post-mortem examination will be taking part in this laboratory analysis, and we will be giving...
Later that week, a day before the late Fidel remains was interred at his grandfather's home in Bondo, political leaders, business moguls, friends and family led by the then President Uhuru Kenyatta, his deputy William Ruto, all gathered at the All Saints Cathedral in Nairobi for a requiem mass. Both the president and his deputy were not in good books with the opposition chief politically, but perhaps the day was not for politics, but a day of mourning.
I want to give you my assurance that I am personally willing, and I have no issue whatsoever in sitting down and talking and bringing people together. There is no problem.
Fidel Odinga was a young Kenyan with a great heart, a promising future, and had tremendous opportunity.
In Fidel's Shukul Mass, Raila Odinga eulogized his son as a hardworking man and that he lived wisely. His mother, on the other hand, termed the best day of her life the day she gave birth to the late Fidel.
You only live once, but if you live it right, once is enough. So we have had Fidel has lived with us once, and has lived also wisely, and therefore it is enough.
As a mother, I can tell you the happiest day of my life was the day I gave birth to Fidel at Mater Misericordia Hospital.
Fidel was later laid to rest on 10th January at his grandfather's home in Bondo, and he was survived by a widow, Lwam Bekele, and a son. 9 years later, the autopsy report that was expected after the conclusive exercise remains a secret. But this is the juicy part. In 2019, the Odingas moved to court through Mama Ida Odinga, seeking to be joint administrators in Fidel's estate. According to the court proceedings, it emerged that Fidel had two other twins he had sided with an undisclosed woman. Fidel's widow, through her lawyer, Roger Sagana, told the court that the said twins, her mother-in-law argues of, were born 6 months after Fidel's death, and their birth certificates does not show any nexus between Fidel and the said twins. Lwam Bekele further urged the court to conduct a DNA test to settle the matter out. Even as Kenyans wait to know what really killed Fidel Odinga, is this statement from his widow that raised eyebrows. And I quote,
The averments are preposterous, offensive, and made in bad taste. The first objector, Mrs. Odinga, has the autopsy reports. I believe that the statement she recorded with the DCI following the death of Fidel informs the first objector's averments and is the genesis of our differences.
According to Ms. Bekele, Ida Odinga received Fidel's autopsy report and made it a secret even from her. But the question is why. She also told the court that Ida Odinga recorded a statement with the DCI concerning her and her family, and this is where their differences began.
Ida has continuously made false, defamatory, and unkind remarks about my family, my friends, and I.
9 years later, Fidel's mother, Ida Odinga, on 4th January 2024, penned an emotional tribute to his late son.
9 years later, I have struggled to accept something that these years without you have taught me. That perhaps you may have just lived enough because you lived so right. Your passing away, no doubt, shook me and shook us. Nothing will ever be able to replace your presence around us. End of quote.
But in the same span, the autopsy report of the late Fidel Makarios Odhiambo Odinga remains to be a secret, and his death a mystery.